was always the Jags.
It's always the Jags. It's always the Jags. It's always the Jags.
Always the Jags.
Welcome into Always the Jags. Today, of course, we get to discuss our game against the Minnesota Vikings, which obviously was a loss, 12-7. Most of us going in thought that this wasn't going to be a win. You know, when you've got Mac Jones starting, Trevor Lawrence is still out. I think he's going to be out for the Lions game as well. So most of us went into this probably expecting a loss. And I'm like, I don't know if I prefer the Jags to just be getting blown out or to just have all these chances to go win it and just not coming through. I don't know which is better. I don't know which is worse. Like, I didn't expect Mac Jones to be able to pull it off, but our defense got 3 takeaways. That's crazy. Like, our defense, and it's like, we can't ever show up at the same time. When we played the Packers, our offense was finally playing well, and our defense gave it away twice. Getting gashed by runs by being gashed by runs by Josh Jacobs, and then allowing the big play from Malik Willis, the Packers backup quarterback, to seal the game. And then today they show up, and they're playing excellent. Maybe it's because Ryan Nielsen went to zone, or I don't know. No one can really explain why, we just started playing so well in this game. Very bend but don't break style. And again, if you take away those takeaways, the game looks a lot worse. But the takeaways count. Like, that's how you can stop a drive either by getting off the field or by taking the ball away. So they show up now, and we have our backup quarterback in. And Mac Jones just made some horrendous throws, like absolutely horrendous. And, he took a lot of the blame for it at the end. I think he knows that at the end of the day, the entire game was on him because he threw it away with those 2 picks at the end of the game. But I'm like, I also kind of blame it on, I mean, I don't know. Maybe Gabe Davis isn't as fast as people think he is, or Mac Jones thought he was. But that one throw towards the end, like, Gabe Davis wasn't anywhere near the ball. The Vikings player ran the route for Gabe and ended up catching it. And it's like, I don't know if Ryan Nielsen took this long to switch to zone, and that's why our defense started playing better, because if that's the case, I mean, that's still on him. You threw away half the season playing a scheme that your personnel couldn't play, right? And then you finally switch it up. Now they're playing it. They hold a team to 12 field goals. If this is the defense we could have had all year, our wins would look a lot different. But again, our offense is still not free to blame because, again, Mac Jones isn't Trevor Lawrence, but Brian Thomas Jr. was wide open on that interception. Wide open. He had him. And I don't know why we're not giving it to Brian Thomas Jr. I don't know why we didn't run more tight end sets. And again, I feel like the defense played well because I bet money they played better today, or played so well today, because they did less substitutions. And again, Ryan Nielsen played a scheme that fits with his zone. He likes to do a lot of press man, but it doesn't matter how much you like to do something if your players can't do it. So, I mean, this episode isn't going to be very long. The Jaguars, like, this is where we are. Our season's in the toilet. Now we're looking towards the draft already. People are talking about Travis Hunter, talking about, do we go cornerback or wide receiver? Do we go cornerback? What are we going to do about our offensive line? Defensive tackle looks like another position of need if Eric Armstead keeps insisting on playing defensive end, which still doesn't make any sense. And it's a dark time to be a Jaguars fan. That's all I can really say. And lastly, before I sign off, huge apologies to everybody who went to the Tailgate with Tony event. I even drove down to Florida to make it so I could go see that game. But then I woke up on Sunday with the worst cold I've had in a very, very long time. Literally, like, I can't describe it to you because it's too gross, but I was feeling just absolutely horrible. There's no way I could get out of bed. I barely got back up. We didn't even leave to go back to Charlotte, where we live, until like 12 in the afternoon. It might have even been 1 or 2. And by then the tailgate event was long over. I wish we could have made it because it would have been so much fun. Just my allergies, I don't know what it was, but it was better for me to not be there. Trust me. After all of that, it was definitely better that I was not there. Um, However, I really wish I was, because even though it was a loss, it is a lot of fun to go. And again, of course, it's a great cause. So I'm gonna keep, talking about it next year and everything. Maybe we'll be better next year. We'll see. Um, but it's like in a Vikings game that didn't have much, except, like I said, and our defense still gave up a lot of third downs. And that's kind of what you do with zone. Like, you end up zone is very susceptible to the chunk play, but it often takes away the deep shot because man, you can get deep shots if the person just beats your man. With zone, if you find the soft spot in the zone, you can pick up little chunks here and there and kind of dink and dunk your way down the field. Now, obviously, I don't know if that scheme works for our defense or it just worked on Sam Darnold because he likes taking deep shots and gets impatient with just dunk, 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 dunk. Um, but it was our first defensive showing of the year. I don't think that saves. I mean, it's like if I'm Shad Khan, I don't know if that saves Ryan Nielsen's job, even if Doug Pederson ends up leaving. Because Doug Pederson said like the worst thing to the media the other day at the end of the press conference, he says, I'm not going to lay it down for you guys because you wouldn't figure it out. But yeah, basically, that's the way that the play went, or something like that. And it's like, you're telling the media, like all this, the people that do football their entire lives, they wouldn't figure out this play. Some of these people that are beat writers that have been working and studying the game of football for, I mean, you could tell that he's frustrated, right? But that's the job. That's the head coaching job. Your job is to make the team better, answer the media questions. You are the media is the liaison between the fans and the team. And I can tell that Doug is frustrated. And it's like, if that frustration is getting to you and making you lash out this way, that's part of the job. So I'm not going to say like this is not the job for you because obviously he has the capabilities to be a head coach, but that's the job. You know what I mean? Like he would tell his players, you can't let these things kind of get to you, and you can't take it out on other players. Like when Trayvon Walker got that ridiculous, unnecessary roughing penalty, and like I'm very angry at it, but the only reason why I'm not livid is just because he been playing well all game. Like he had a reason to be frustrated. They held them to 12 points. Our team couldn't get more than 7. So in that moment, I could see him being frustrated, and to me, he had a very good reason to be frustrated. So let me know your thoughts. I mean, we don't have to ask if the Jaguars are cooked because we already are. I guess the question is how cooked, and is there any redemption factor in there for Ryan Nielsen, Doug Pederson, and Press Taylor? Is Shad Khan going to clean house? Um, it would be interesting to see if he cleans coaching staff and just keeps players and cleans the GM too, or if he's just gonna wipe it all down and the new GM is gonna start selling off and we're gonna enter a rebuild. I don't know. Um, but I mean, like you said, you see when you get the right person in. I mean, I didn't think the Chargers were going to be particularly good this year, and then look, they brought in Jim Harbaugh, and now they're competing for a spot in the playoffs after getting rid of some of their best players from last year. Like on paper, they are a worse team, but they have a better coach, and now they're a better team. Sometimes it's the way it goes. So I guess we'll see. I don't think there's a magic pill to fix everything. I wouldn't be mad if we end up getting Ben Johnson. All I know is that what we're currently doing is not working, and no one has changed it enough to make it effective. So it's time for some new people. Hate to be that blunt, but that's just where else are we at? This is where we're at. We had incredible expectations that are not even being close to being realized. That's where we're at. So again, let me know your thoughts down below. And always remember, it was always the Jags.